Welcome back guys to episode 128 in my countdown series. In today's episode it's going to be 10 reasons why Red Dead Redemption 2 is better than Grand Theft Auto 5. Now in this episode I'm not going to be including obvious things like graphics. It's going to be specific gameplay elements or engine upgrades that makes this game better. Also, just before we get started, I always get comments from you guys asking where I get my hoodies from. Now I'm partnered up with a company called Into the AM and they do probably some of the coolest looking clothing I've ever seen. Feel free to check out their website and you can use code SILENT for a discount at checkout. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So up first at the number 10 spot are loading screens. Now entering interiors is completely seamless in Red Dead Redemption 2. This includes visiting stores and even starting missions. When you're going from a cutscene to gameplay, it's going to be an extremely more immersive experience, as you'll notice just the mini-map that appears indicating when we're going from a cutscene back to gameplay. Comparing this to main missions in Grand Theft Auto 5, a lot of them required you to load as soon as you hit the objective marker, so things are going to be a lot more authentic and seamless in Red Dead Redemption 2. Moving on to the number 9 spot, the map in Red Dead Redemption 2 has way more variety than in Grand Theft Auto 5. We've got snowy regions, up to your waist level depth in snow, we've got deserts, mountain regions, we've even got swamps where you can wade through up to your waist in water. In GTA 5, it was based around just one fictional city, Los Santos, based on LA, and we only really had Mount Chiliad to the north of that, and not much else. There was a lot of space, but not a whole lot in it. The only time we really got to see snow in Grand Theft Auto was just over a few days at Christmas when they put it into GTA Online, and even then it was just a very superficial snowfall. Next up is the honor meter. Now this is the scale that reflects our morality in Red Dead Redemption 2. Rockstar have promised subtle effects in how characters react to you depending on your honor meter. And there's also going to be balanced rewards to incentivize you not only to be a good guy, but also incentivize making immoral or bad decisions throughout the gameplay. For example, we'll get better payouts during robberies if we play more dishonorably. However, you'll get higher payouts for chasing down bounties if you're a more honourable player. Next up is Gore. Now the Gore in GTA 5 was very toned down compared with the first Red Dead Redemption game. Fans will be pleased to know that Gore will return to Red Dead Redemption 2 in a big way. Bullet wounds are going to have entry and exit wounds, and the weapons can leave absolutely devastating injuries. I mean, you can even blow off people's limbs for crying out loud. It's also been confirmed if Arthur gets shot in the leg, we're also going to start limping and reacting to exactly where we get hit. At the number 6 spot is melee combat. In Red Dead Redemption 2 it's going to have a big improvement to melee. We're going to be able to block, counter, we can grab our enemies, tackle them to the ground, and even ground and pound. We can perform executions on enemies. This is a huge step up from Grand Theft Auto 5, as the melee combat was just extremely toned down from even its predecessor, Grand Theft Auto 4. Especially with the lack of military weapons in the Wild West, it's going to be nice to take things back to our good old fists. So in Grand Theft Auto 5, we could somehow carry an unlimited amount of weapons in our weapon wheel, including RPGs, lock-on missiles, miniguns, chain guns, 10 different types of pistols, all in our back pocket. In Red Dead Redemption 2, it's going to be a much more realistic system. We're limited to what we can actually carry, quite similar to how Max Payne 3's weapon system worked. We're going to have to take the time and consider what weapons we want to take depending on the mission at hand. We're going to have to strategize. Do we want to roll with a close range sawed-off shotgun, or maybe play a bit of a long range and take a sniper and take off our enemies at a distance? At the number 4 spot is hunting. So hunting was actually included in GTA 5 and a very small side activity for Trevor. However, in Red Dead Redemption 2, it is an essential gameplay mechanic to survive. We're going to need to feed ourselves to stay healthy, we're going to need to give Arthur Morgan the energy to continue playing by eating, we're also going to need to supply our fellow gang members at the camp, and of course hunting is going to be an important income source for us by selling the meat to butchers. I'm sure you guys can expect an in-depth money-making guide from Silent Core in the not too distant future. As we play Red Dead Redemption 2 and explore these different regions, we're going to be coming into contact with a lot of different environments. and our clothes are actually going to become dirty. Now this was included in a very small scale in GTA 5 where when you're in the desert you might get some sand on our sunglasses, but it's not permanent and it was purely cosmetic. This time around, if we fall over in the mud is actually going to permanently stay on our character. If we come into contact with wounded animals or people with blood, the blood is actually going to transfer to our own clothing. And if our body does get covered in blood or dirt and we head into a populated city, NPCs are actually going to start to comment and react to our appearances. Store owners may even refuse to sell you goods if you're extremely unpresentable. So we're going to need to wash off or take a bath to clean up. At the number 2 spot is being able to control interactions better. So in GTA 5 we could hit right on the D-pad and that would let us interact with random NPCs. Sometimes we don't really have much control over how the NPCs are going to react to this. Sometimes they'll respond with something funny, or sometimes the police will even arrest us for saying hello. However, in Red Dead Redemption 2, we're going to have way more control over these interactions. We're going to have a whole menu of responses to choose from. We can choose to hold someone at gunpoint and rob them, fire a warning shot to intimidate someone, and just several different options for handling the situations how you want to, and giving us full control of the outcomes. NPCs will also react if you have your weapons drawn, so if you don't want to scare anyone off, you might want to keep your weapons holstered. And the number 1 reason why I believe Red Dead Redemption 2 is better than GTA 5, and that is the revolutionary organic mission system. So instead of clearly defining what missions are main story missions and what missions are just simply side missions, we're going to have to naturally meet characters and decide if we want to help them or not, and we don't really know what characters might actually stem into being a main story mission. So if we have an opportunity to meet and help a new character, you never really know who that person is or where it might lead to down the road later in the story. And this is actually a pretty revolutionary feature to the open world gaming genre. I can't really think of any other game that does this, and it's probably going to inspire many future open world games to adopt this style of gameplay and mission structure. If you watched this video all the way to the end, let me know in the comments what your biggest reason that Red Dead Redemption 2 is better than GTA 5. Or even if you disagree and think GTA 5 is better because it has cars, do let me know in the comments. I'm interested to hear what you guys think. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you are new around here so you don't miss out on any future countdowns, and if you could leave a like on the video, it would really help support my channel. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you in the next video.
Flipping cars, I live the scene. Flipping heist, yeah, with the team. You know me, got the antidote. I spit it sick, I'm in Los Santos. Dodging missiles, dodging bullets. Coming at me now, tell me to pull it. I'm a G, DOA, silent core in GTA.